Hi everyone. Right, so I just wanted to talk to you about, I had a 4-day wedding this weekend, which was lovely. And it just made me think about in previous years when I'd gone to particularly a wedding when I was really ill. It wasn't sort of, it was not long before I went into residential, and it was a time when I had, very, very in control of food, etc. To the point where the only thing that I could do was I went to the ceremony and then I went home. The rest of my family were kind of enjoying the celebrations and the meal, etc. And I would only go back late into the evening when I knew that all the food had gone. It all been, cleared away, etc. And then I went back and I love a good boogie, me. I love a dance, I have to say. I love music, and I really struggle to kind of like, if there's a good beat playing, not even to tap my toe and things like that. But I found myself going back to this wedding and I just could not feel the beat at all. I was just completely lifeless, and I remember thinking what a sad sort of place that it was to be, and kind of like comparing myself to sort of before, but that's the way it was. But anyway, as I said, I was just going on this this wedding the weekend, and it kind of struck me, and I think the thing is that as I made progress in my recovery, it wasn't kind of like till after the occasion that things kind of like, I thought, I didn't do that this time, or I did better at that time, and it only kind of like dawns on me after these things have happened. And it was, we kind of like stopped in this big house, sort of like me and a few of family members, and it's my partner's family who I don't know that well, and some of them never met at all, and that would have been a real issue for me, because I've never been good at sort of like conversations, etc. And so yeah, we stayed for 4 days together in sort of like this under this big house, and then it occurred to me on the Friday, the wedding was on the Saturday, and the Friday we were kind of helping them get ready, etc. And it was only in the evening I kind of went, oh, I wonder what's on the menu for tomorrow, or for the wedding. And I thought, my gosh, what progress that would have been, and how different it was from before, because I would have needed to know. I would have had to have everything planned, as I'm sure anybody sort of struggling in this area will know. And I guess that was it was really good for me, and just again thinking back, and I guess I just wanted to sort of kind of come in and just sort of say about the progress that can be made, that can be achieved. And also just to kind of think about, if somebody had been trying to give me some advice, before going, and it's not just a wedding, is it? Although a wedding's a long, drawn out procedure, let's face it, it's a long day. But any social occasions around food, and making conversations, which I know I really struggled with, because basically at that point in my life, the only thing that was going through my head was food. And so it really became really difficult to make any conversation. There was nothing else really that I could think of that I could talk about. So I was just thinking about this and kind of like, what could have somebody have sort of said to me? And I guess the things that I've learned, having come through this, is that, making conversations, ask people, if you haven't got any conversation that you think is kind of like is worthy of saying, ask people about themselves. If you're not confident at talking, ask people questions, lots of people are actually, I never realised this, but actually lots of people are quite happy to talk about themselves and what they do for a living and what they do for a job and their children and, what kind of hobbies they have, what they like to do, what passions they have, what dreams they have. All of these sorts of things, people are actually quite willing to share with you. And that really takes the pressure off you to have to, talk through and kind of give information about yourself when you're not feeling that great. And actually, what can happen is then this kind of person that you don't know, that you kind of don't know what to talk to them about, gradually they open up. And you might actually find some connection with them. You might think, oh gosh, that sounds really good. Or, you can relate to certain things that they say. So you can sort of start chipping in a little bit about your kind of perspective. And you never know what kind of can happen from there. And the other thing particularly I wanted to say about, kind of with eating and sitting down and, meal times, particularly if it is a social occasion, because I know it's how hard that is. But just remember that you are doing the best that you can, whether it's a family dinner, whether it's sort of at somebody's house, or it's out in a restaurant, or it's a wedding or a christening or whatever it is. Just remember that you're doing the best that you can. Don't beat yourself up. Try and think about it. If you can, if you need to plan, then do that. Talk to the person that is providing the food and ask them, what you can be expecting. And, I don't know whether you are kind of still sort of hiding, or whether you're kind of in recovery and you're trying to deal with this. You just deal with it in the best way that you can. So you talk to somebody, and if you need to, it's, you have some nutritional needs or something like that, to find out what's going on. I mean, I'm not saying to lie openly and deceive and things like this, but it's about getting you feel comfortable, because I know what it's like when you're not feeling comfortable, when you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling panicked. It doesn't end up well at all. No matter how hard you fight, it doesn't end up well. So the key is to try and keep yourself as relaxed as possible. And if you need to plan for that, if you need to talk to somebody to find out what's going on, then do that. If you can speak to somebody and say about your struggles, then do that too. But obviously if you don't worry about it. And again, it's about doing your best. Try and eat something if that's what that's what you would like to try and do. And again, just do what you can. Bring your own food. If you're not comfortable with what's going on, just say, actually, I need to bring my own stuff. And then if that makes you feel safer, but then you kind of feel that you would maybe like to try something, do that. Do whatever you can to feel relaxed. Go for a walk outside, have a walk around, don't matter where it is, have a walk inside. Go, get away from the table for sort of short moments of time if you feel it's overwhelming and you can't, cope anymore. Just go outside, walk, take deep breaths, and then come back again. Do whatever you can. Just try and stay as relaxed as you can. I know I keep coming back into this, but it's really important for you to try and just stay as relaxed as you possibly can. And I know it's hard. And just remember that actually we all feel that, everybody's eyes are on us and everybody's noticing what we're doing, and they're judging us, and, we think we sort of stand out like a sore thumb, and, we've got the spotlight on us. But actually nobody's watching as much as we think. It's only the people that are concerned, the people that love us, that are watching a little bit. And actually it is because they love us, and they're looking because they want to help us. So it's up to us to try and meet them halfway in whatever we can, and just say, I'm struggling with this. you know, and maybe you can take a walk outside with them and just have a little chat and stuff like that. But again, it's whatever you need to do to help yourself and to, you know, to help deal with those emotions. Do some tapping, go outside, do some tapping, you know, and if you want some help with that, let me know. And yeah, and because people aren't necessarily judging, and actually, do you know what? The people that are judging and the people that are sort of like, I don't know, thinking, oh, what's she doing and stuff like that, doesn't matter about them anyway. They haven't got a bloody clue what's going on through your head. They have no idea. So don't let them bother you, because actually they're not worth it. And yeah, and just sort of like, and people don't get it. They really, really don't get it. But then we don't really get it that much either. We know what it feels like, but there's that thing of not really understanding why it's going on or anything like that. So nobody understands unless they've really been there. And then, like I said, it's really hard for us to even truly get it. So I just wanted to talk to you about that, just sort of like to show that things can move on, you know, they can be possible. You can feel more relaxed in different situations, and just to give you a little bit of some tips around making conversations and dealing with the food aspect at these kind of like social occasions. Hope you found that a bit helpful. Hopefully it resonated. If you have any comments, any questions and that, please feel free to leave them in the box, and I'll speak to you soon. All right, take care. Lots of love. Bye.